That shit crazy. this shit crazy. Yo, this shit crazy. shit crazy.
So crazy. And I just want to point that out, that like that's a move in this game.
That's a. Oh my God, Jesus!
Shout out JG.
Man just said banana dare.
Banana do bro.
Like,
Stop D, stop D, stop D. Yup!
oh.
So hype, bro.
Gonna do it right off the respawn platform.
Yeah.
Say something.
Yeah. Hello.
Alright, guys.
Oh,
how is it
that
going?
was such a
This
quick
is going
stock
to be
there.
the,
Wi-Fi.
the laser
Spring
stops the
Wi-Fi
combo from
PR
continuing.
review,
And he
for
gets
about
a
quarter
double
of the way
kill.
through. We got Bacon with me. Onaira
Hi, everybody.
Ooh,
but
nice
he hasn't
couple up airs
responded
right
in
there.
like an hour.
Oh, jab block.
He told me on Twitter that he wasn't able to get him. Wasn't
chilling out
gonna be
for the
able to
most
make
part,
it.
trying to
He
get
has
some damage,
going on,
trying to,
but,
steal that kill.
yeah.
Well-
Either way, we'll probably have him next time or whatever.
Yeah. We'll hopefully have some other people involved. next time.
What?
That was an excellent.
Honestly,
Oh my
I
goodness,
didn't
dude.
really want
What
to
if-
have to talk too much tonight, but whatever. It doesn't matter that much.
Alright.
Yeah, it should be a good time. We're just gonna go over like
But
a
so
rough
far,
outline
oh my
and
god.
like talk more about like the PR and how it works
Mhm.
and everything. And go over like predictions. Cause
Oh,
it's all
what
just,
a
like,
read!
predictions
And
and
he
my
gets
preliminary
the
stuff. None of
stock
it's like
for it.
really set in
Fire
stone.
was so crazy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be looking at everything and
I just
talking
want to
about
point that out, that like that's a
how
move in
stuff
this
is
game.
like calculated, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a.
Very important
Oh my
to remember
God,
while we're
Jesus.
talking
Shout out
tonight.
JG.
Take everything with a grain of salt, and none of this stuff is like
bro.
set in stone,
Stop D, stop D, stop
guaranteed.
D. Yup!
Because one, it's only a quarter of the way
So
through
hype,
the
bro.
season.
Gonna do it
Yeah.
right off the respawn platform.
Like a lot of these
Yeah.
stats are going to be very skewed because, like, say somebody like Hawk has only shown up for like 2 tournaments. So like the data tracker doesn't
that
know
was
Hawk
such
is
a
one of the
quick
best players in
stock
Michigan.
there.
So like
The laser
losing
stops
to
the
him or winning
combo from
against him
continuing.
doesn't mean
And
the
he
same
gets
thing as
a
if it means
double
that Hawk
kill.
was like a previously PR'd player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later because we
Ooh,
have
nice couple up airs right there.
basically.
Oh, jab block.
That's technically like what you're talking about is the elo system, which
Mhm.
calculates how many
Just
points you have.
chilling
and
out
the
for
elo
the most
system
part, trying to
basically
get some
favors
damage,
people that go to a
trying
lot
to,
of tournaments.
steal
Yeah.
that
However,
kill.
if you made an actual PR, that's not exactly how it works. It
Yeah.
more has to do with head-to-head and peaks.
Oh,
I don't know.
What?
A
That
lot
was
of
an
people
excellent.
remember.
Oh
Like,
my goodness, dude! What is?
I think it was like Ron or whatever on PGR who went to like 3 tournaments total
I'm
and
back.
was able to
Sorry,
make
I
it. So it's sort of like that, where it's like
Okay.
technically his
But,
elo
so
would be
far,
really low, but
oh
that
my
doesn't
God.
actually really matter that much. But it's just a good frame of reference. And so yeah, that's basically that. And then, do you want to talk about like what the actual PR requirements are in general? So I feel like it's not very. It's kind of vague.
yeah. So the only PR like minimum requirement we have is that you must show up for at least 9 tournaments across the season, which we calculated out to be about 20% attendance, I believe. Which should be pretty easy to do since we have, 7 tournaments a week. If you like literally just played the last 2 weeks, you could make a case for your PR. But I think, if somebody's showing up a lot, they're exposing themselves more, so they have more chances to get good wins and stuff by showing up to more tournaments. I definitely wouldn't recommend only showing up to 9 tournaments and then just hoping that you'll lock in a place just from that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, okay, so I guess let's go over like what tournaments qualify, and then we'll go from there and then move on.
Oh yeah, I should have. Okay, they might not be able to hear you if I switch to this. I have a screen that just has the
Right.
PR things. Let me see. Yeah, I just gotta add it in from the other one. They're not gonna be able to hear you this second. Yeah, those highlights are made by Zinkus, actually.
Okay, Oh, go on.
Yeah, he just kind of threw them together for us, which is pretty cool. He made sure that it could loop, so I could just leave it on while people were talking. I thought it's a pretty nice touch for the broadcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, here are the tournaments that qualify for PR. We've got the Garbage Can on Sundays, hosted by Z-Fan. Bacon, his tournament.
Bacon's Banana Brawl.
It's been doing pretty well. I think you guys are, I mean, excluding like Shell Shocked, obviously, which is like the big one. I think you guys are like second behind social distance events for attendance. So people really love it.
It's like surprisingly a large amount of people, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm glad everybody's able to like have a good time. I mean, we didn't have it this week because I couldn't host it, but most of the time, it's pretty good. Pretty good time. Yeah, it's been pretty cool seeing like more than like 25, sometimes even up to like 30 or 40 people enter. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Definitely,
you guys have been popping off. I know but I tune into the Banana Brawl almost every week. It's a fun one to watch.
Oh yeah, it is fun. I think a lot of the attendance has to do with people that also like Mid-Michigan Madness, because when we hosted that, it was like one of the first like Michigan Wi-Fi tournaments, and it was like back when people didn't really think it was going to be like for that long or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was my thing with social distance events as well. I thought it would be like a month of them, and like here we are 1 year later.
With that being said, I feel like we're somewhat getting close to like maybe being able to like realistically have offline weeklies again. I know some places are already starting. I don't know how like safe that is or whatever. But hopefully, like with everybody getting vaccinated, hopefully things will be somewhat back to normal in the next couple months. But you never really know, because we were saying that like 6 months ago too, and it was like, and then look where we are now. But
yep, right.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next tournament on the list, the Unknown Weekly, run by Default and Mighty. Funny enough, Default was the one that created the tournament, but he is rarely the person running it. Usually Mighty is just kind of doing it himself. Which is
that tournament is interesting one.
It's a little scuffed.
It's definitely a scuffed bracket.
Yep. But they've made it through. I had to step in one time and run the rest of the tournament for them, but besides that, they've been fine.
That's pretty funny.
Then we have Wayne Warrior Wednesday, which is going on right now, actually. I really appreciate the Wednesday and Friday brackets being run by the colleges, because those are the ones where I just know everything is going to be handled and I don't have to step in at all.
Yeah, that's always nice when it's like an official school tournament or whatever, and then everything goes basically according to plan. And then, we have Shell Shocked on Thursday.
Yep.
Classic Michigan tournament as well.
Well,
Usually has like a prize pool as well, right?
yeah, I mean, Shell Shock doesn't actually have that big of a prize pool. But it's like it's a big tournament. It's run by Aura Gaming. They get like 60 to 80 attendees every week. It's for the whole east side of the country, which I think is
Right.
the biggest.
Rand said, "What's with all the default slander?" Well, maybe if you run your own tournament, there wouldn't be any slander.
Very true. Very true. And then we've got
Instead of
MSU.
playing, I don't even know what game he plays. It's like Fortnite or something, or Valorant. Sorry, same thing, right?
Right.
Anyways, moving on.
And then we've got MSU's tourney on Fridays. They've been doing the Wi-Fi brackets basically the whole time as well, like all the way through quarantine. And then,
Oh yeah, I've entered a couple of those. Fun time.
yeah. And then we have the grand tournament, the one that created it all. Social Distance Demons every Saturday. Biggest prize pool, biggest winnings, biggest PR opportunities. Make sure you show up to every Social Distance Demons if you want to make PR.
A classic.
Yep.
I will say that Garbage Can being relatively new is pretty cool. Z-Fan's been doing a good job with those. I
Oh,
did the
yeah.
first one, and
Z-Fan
that was
is
a lot of
like
fun.
Z-Fan is like super good. I don't know if you guys have tuned into Z-Fan streams, but like sometimes he streams some weird stuff, but he's a very
Right.
good like commentator and just all around nice dude. So
Oh yeah, I like his random drawing streams. Those are pretty fun.
yeah,
Pretty fun to watch. Shout out to Z-Fan if he's watching anywhere.
yeah.
Go
Big shout out to
McKenpy
him.
in the chat.
Wow.
Perry Master, what is up, everybody?
Go
35
McKenpy.
viewers. Wow, that's crazy.
Nice enough to show up in the chat to hear us talk about PR, but not nice enough to show
Yeah.
up on the PR rankings. Dang.
Well,
Where you
to be
at,
fair,
Goma?
I think a lot of these state PR players are scared. They're like, "What if I do worse on the Wi-Fi PR?"
They
I
can't have
don't
me.
play. Yeah, I don't play King K. Rule. I don't play DDD. Like, what? I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna do. I don't know if my main is nerfed on Wi-Fi. I'm just gonna chill.
They saw how much I slandered Linus, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want any of that."
Come on, Kevin, said money match right now, Bacon. Okay, maybe after the stream, Goma.
All right. So I think that covers the first topic that you had written down. What do we got next?
Right. So.
Oh yeah, we were gonna start talking about the ranking system. Let me
Yeah,
switch
yeah,
over the
so-
screen.
We're done with the PR requirements. Basically went over that. All the PR eligible tournaments. I'm sure everybody in chat knows. Most of these tournaments, or at least played in a couple of them. So we have next the ELO system itself, which is like the actual like program we use. And this is just sort of like gonna be like this is gonna be most of the stream talking about this ELO system and what it means. Basically how it's all like calculated or whatever. And it's basically a very rough outline of who's doing the best right now in these sort of Wi-Fi events. But as KJs was saying earlier, it's sort of the actual number itself can be very inflated by how many tournaments you enter. So obviously, people entering more tournaments are going to be more likely to do well. And then we have people who haven't been playing as much Wi-Fi who are coming up recently. So we'll be talking about that too. It's a little bit down the list. We'll be talking about up and coming players, our predictions, and all that. So yeah, all right, let's get into the ELO system. Oh, so is this the head-to-head for most of the people?
I mean this this does show the head to head. I guess we can go to the where does it show the rankings? Here we go. Funny enough,
Okay.
the ELO system is able to recognize that Quark is still number one. It just knows. It can detect
Quark
that.
number
at
one.
least.
Okay, let's see here. Can you link me to the actually never mind, I think I have it. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. If you go to our TO's chat and then the pinned messages, it's in there if you don't have it.
Awesome. So is this link public knowledge or are we not allowed to share this? Just wondering.
I think we can post it after this since people are already gonna know about it. I haven't posted
Yeah,
it
since
yet.
we're already
but,
sharing it on stream.
Yeah, but I'll post it after the stream. They have to
Yeah,
watch the
that's-
stream to get the information first. That's how the scam
Right.
we got going on here.
Yeah, that's how we advertise it, of course. All right, yeah, the head-to-head is interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. We'll be going into that. We'll be looking at everything specifically. So, all right, let me take a look at this. Okay, here we go. All right, so I guess we can talk right now just about the top 10 and let's see, 1 through 20. So how do we get this to be okay, 50 players. Let's do that.
Okay.
And how many qualify for PR?
We're gonna do a PR of 15.
15? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering how many people it was.
You know,
Interesting.
I was trying to decide at the beginning, and I realized like there's if all of the power players that I know of show up, this is actually like very hotly contested, all the way up to like 12
Right.
at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's interesting here. So we have a lot of okay. Right now, like right off the bat, and we're all looking at this, and this is the amount of points everybody has right now. Something I noticed, extraordinary top 5, obviously really good player. Is he gonna qualify? Because isn't he technically moving?
Yeah, he's moving, but not till like June or July. He'll still be here for the full season.
Okay, he'll be here for the full season. All
Yeah.
right, that's good to know. And is there anyone else on this list that's like technically not a qualifier? Like he's kind of invader? Because I know we have Harmony 16, which is actually really funny that he's so high on this list because he only did like 2 banana brawls and he's like from Chicago.
Yeah, make
And,
sure
yeah.
make sure at the top you've clicked the second ELO system. Well, that eliminates
The
people
second
that
one.
have only attended 3 or less tournaments. But there are some people
Okay,
on here
wait,
that
so-
are still outside of Michigan, and we just included them so that
so
way.
do you mean is it Glico? Is it that
No.
one?
If you scroll up to the top, see there'll be like ELO, Glico, True Skill, and then there's another set of them.
Yeah.
Click the second set ELO.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But
All right, sweet.
anyway,
Yeah, this looks a little
there
bit different
are
now.
there are some people from outside of
Right.
Michigan on this list, and we included them so that way you could still like get recorded wins off of them, and we would consider
Right.
those in the head-to-heads at the end.
Right, because if it's a like really notable player out of region technically, but still in the Midwest or whatever, obviously that still counts towards your elo. Like if you get a good win, like if some PGR player obviously randomly decided to join like a Michigan tournament and you beat them, that for sure should count
Mhm.
towards the elo or whatever. So it makes sense to have them on here so we can still see their head to head and all that, even if they're technically not qualifiers. So yeah, I guess we could just go down the list of all these players.
Yeah, the top
Talk a
3,
little bit about them.
Cork, Copel, and Bows, I think is unsurprising to see that as the top 3 players. I was looking through the head-to-heads, and Cork, like,
Yeah.
the only player he has a negative record against is Anthony, and then Copel, the only player he has a negative record against is Quirk.
Yeah.
And so like Cork loses, he's lost like 4 sets so far and won the rest. The Bows wins every Tuesday. He wins the tournament that he signs up for Rand's tournament, the Unknown Weekly.
Right.
And then
So do you think? Yeah.
Go ahead.
And do you think his elo is like the Baus elo is a lot higher based on the tournaments that he enters every week? Do you think that he might not be as high later when we look at the whole matchup chart, or is his head-to-head really good? Just in general?
No, just because like the Unknown Weekly is a smaller bracket, so it shouldn't inflate his yellow that much. But also he signs up for SDD and usually finishes top 5 in
Yeah, I've definitely
SDD
seen
as
his name
well.
a lot in the STD, and he usually makes top 8 in that too. Yeah, why not click on Quirk? We'll take a look at some of these players. We'll go over like the top 5, I guess. Expand their details a little bit if you want.
Okay, you want me to click on Quirk? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was.
Why don't we
reading
go
chat.
into the? Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so
What was taking place?
there's only 2 losses. One of them is to Syrup, which won't really count against Quirk because Syrup is like, I mean, he ended up beating him anyway, but Syrup's like a Jersey player or something.
Right.
So like that won't be negative towards him. And then his only loss is to Anthony, which is insane. Like, everybody
it's
in the
actually
chat already
crazy.
knows. They don't need us to hype him up, but Quark is insane. It's going to be very hard for anyone to unseat Quark from that first place spot, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna, especially because it's important to note that the second place player, Copel, another very good player, has a heavily losing matchup on Quark, and that could be bad because basically, like, when it comes to like the actual head-to-head, Quark will have a clear advantage over him. So at the moment, he's basically solidified that first place because if you have similar results, similar elo to the second place, however your head-to-head is much better, you're more than likely gonna end up being first. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you look at his actual tournaments, it's like he got first at Social Distance Demon 36, Banana Brawl 9, Shell Shocked 37. He actually ended up getting 13 out of 74, which is his worst tournament placing. And then he got first at Quarantine Quarrel, first at Banana Brawl 10, first at Shell Shock 38, second at Social Distance Demon, and first at Shell Shock 99. So out of 8 tournaments that he entered this season or whatever, he's only gotten not first at 2 of them.
Yeah, and that one where he
Yeah.
got second, he had to DQ out because he had to go win a different tournament.
Yeah, which I don't think DQing actually affects your
Yeah,
elo.
DQ doesn't affect it, so.
Yeah, so because it doesn't really affect your head-to-head. It's not a real set. Obviously, that's not really going to count against him. It might not give him as many points on the elo system because he DQ'd, but like when it comes to head-to-head matchups, that doesn't matter. Sometimes you got a DQ. So, and is your Quinn on Quirk? Win on Quirk there? Defoe asked.
Yeah,
When
I
we get
found
to
his
you,
win.
it should be on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we get to you, we'll be seeing here.
All right. I don't want to talk too much more about Quark because everybody knows Quark
Sure.
is nutty.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next player. He's for sure, like, at this point, he's I think it's looking like he's clear cut for first, but things can obviously change because we're pretty early into the PR here. So
Yeah, and we'll
see.
get to
We'll see.
we'll talk about a couple players that could potentially challenge him later that haven't shown up to it much yet. But anyway,
Right.
our
Yeah,
next
and then,
player.
got Copel, everybody's favorite, Michigan King K. Rule.
So Copel,
Yeah.
this activates one of my trap cards talking about Copel here. You'll see
Right.
that he has this loss against XD Dawes, who's a good player by the way, but probably not on Copel's level. But I can tell you because I was there, I didn't see this set, but I was running the bracket, and Copel went Pyra and Mithra here, and lost the set. Ended up putting him in losers, and he lost to Druish later on. So
All right.
I just want to put a little warning out there for everybody that if your matches, no matter what, who you're playing, they count against you if you drop games. So what I would recommend if you want to play off, like play your not main, sign up for a different tournament that isn't the PR events.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you about because we've had situations in the past and sort of like controversies with like CMU PR where like people talked about, for example, once Superhero lost to Nani when he was playing not Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, "Oh, this shouldn't count because he's like playing his secondaries, whatever." And it was an interesting situation because it was like people were like, "Oh, technically it shouldn't count," but when it comes to a PR, I mean, stats and head-to-head don't care about what character you're playing. In fact, it's completely irrelevant towards like an actual PR because with the PR you have to be as objective as possible. You can't really look at what character somebody's playing. So if someone decides that week to go a weaker character of theirs, I mean that's totally on them.
Yeah, and the thing is that
and it's still going to count against you, obviously.
yeah,
So yeah,
those players are going to want us to look at their wins if they play an off character anyway. Like
right.
if say Copel went Pyra and Mithra through this whole tournament and he won this tournament, he would want us to observe that as well as his K rule wins.
Yeah. And Hawk's saying something interesting. He said, "I'm gonna make number one with random." That is pretty funny because I mean, like, if you do like ranked with just playing like random or something, that's pretty impressive. You have bragging rights if you do so. Yeah, you're allowed to limit yourself for your own personal challenge,
Yeah,
which is funny
just
because we also have Prod in the chat saying my Marth and Lucario tanked my elo. It's like, yeah, but
yeah, it did.
that's part of the fun, right? Is
Um,
maybe nerfing yourself for these brackets. You know, they're free, so
yeah. But yeah, I just
and
recommend if you
fun.
want to screw around with your secondaries, just sign up for one of the
Yeah.
other random Wi-Fi tournaments. If you're not
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
like trying hard that day, or if you don't care, then you don't care. That's fine too.
Exactly. If at the end of the day it's just for fun, sort of PR, and if you don't really care, then you know who cares.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
technically, if you want the best chance of winning, I'd obviously recommend like going your main or whatever. Because if you don't, it definitely count against you.
And one small note about Hawk saying that comment that he made about going random at Social Distance Demons, I think 2 weeks ago, he did sign up and go all random through the whole bracket, and he got fourth, I think, including getting a win over Anthony, I remember, and maybe a couple other
Oh
people.
man, that's
So,
pretty funny.
yeah.
This looks like my stream was lagging for a bit. I think it was the internet on my side though. But
Okay.
anyway, that is pretty funny though. Okay, so so Quirk's win rate is 89%. Copal win rate, very very close. 83% win rate. Five losses, like you were saying. One of those being that Pyramithor game to XCDOS, and that is important. Yeah, yeah. That's also another notable thing about that is what you were saying was XCDOS is a good player, however, maybe not on the level of Copal. That does sort of count like towards like look at these head to heads. The level of the player obviously like matters,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously most PRs favor wins over losses, like peaks over
Yeah.
you know. But like if you lose to somebody who's considered like not very good or whatever, which isn't the case here, that does affect you or that could affect your placement on the final PR itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an important thing to know. Definitely want to try to make sure you don't get upset if you want a really good chance of like getting super ranked high.
Oh, Copel wants us to point out that he has a win over Daybreak and Dufault here at Social Distance Demons number 37.
Right.
While when beating Daybreak was pretty impressive, I think it's very unlikely that Daybreak is going to make it onto the PR. So, I mean, it's cool, but I don't know how much exactly it plays into your hand. You know what I mean?
All right. Like Daybreak, obviously ranked top 3, I believe, in Michigan. Very good player. That's clearly a good win, to some extent. However, we're not really sure if Daybreak's can even pull enough Wi-Fi where it really matters that much.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it's like a very impressive win. Definitely a notable win. However, the best way for that to count towards like a lot of points is. Can you hear me right, by the way?
You're lagging quite a bit actually right now.
Oh, I'm lagging. Okay. Let me try to fix that.
Okay.
Probably because I have the stream up too. Let me just pause it.
Okay, you cleared up already.
I did? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I paused the stream. I think my bandwidth was just fucking up. I can still see the chat though. So sorry about that, guys. All right, you can hear me better now, right?
Yeah, the chat is accusing
Sweet.
me of lag switching you.
He's lag switching me.
Yep. So moving on to the
right.
bows, the number 3 ranked. Like I said, I think I agree with this placement. Mostly because if we do touch on Defoe has been playing a bunch of random characters and not doing that great in a bunch of brackets. But Defoe would be the other person competing for this spot, in my opinion, if he was trying hard enough.
Right. Yeah, Defoe is definitely somebody that we expect to be in top 5 if he's going Shulk, because the Shulk is very good.
Yeah,
And
Shulk
usually
is nutty.
consistently it will top 3 most tournaments, at least, especially Banana Brawl, and has some good wins too. beating some good players like Nest T, and I believe that he also had a win on Quirk. However, I don't remember if that was before. I don't remember if that was PR eligible or not, but I know that he reset Quirk and bracket once.
Yeah, that bracket reset counted. That's in the PR.
Okay, so that's definitely a good win to have.
Mhm.
Getting that number 1 PR upset there. But yeah, enough about Defoe. We'll talk about him a bit later. We'll just go briefly over the Baus. So the Baus, 81% win rate. Some notable wins. He won versus Ducks. Michigan Fox, who's very good.
Mhm.
I think everybody knows him. He's very, very solid. Won versus Chironic, who I don't know much about this player actually. You'll definitely have to like tell me a little bit more about him later. And then he won versus Dante Lante, otherwise known as D-Man. It's definitely a good win as well.
Yeah.
Faction as well, which is a close contender, I believe, for a similar spot. So that's a nice head-to-head to have. He has actually 2-0 on Spection, which is really good.
Yeah, he also has a
Um,
win over Anthony, and Anthony is another player that I expect to be able to reach top 5.
Right.
So that's another solid win. Recently he got upset by Dr. Watts at the Unknown Weekly number 3. That was a super
Right.
exciting. If you guys didn't watch this, and the stream link is still up, I highly recommend watching the Unknown Weekly number 3 stream because it is the most insane stream I've ever watched. I think I have like 20 clips from it. But every set that made it on stream was nutty. This tournament was awesome. Anyway, but yeah, the Baus, basically he beats almost everyone except for players that are that I would say potentially above him. Like except for these Watts upsets, but like Vlomflex, Quark, Druish are all very good players. You know what I mean?
I think it's funny that it's like considered an upset because DeBose obviously has been doing really good in all these Wi-Fi events and is like a staple name right now in like these Wi-Fi tournaments. But
Mhm.
like offline, it's like Dr. Watts is like such a beast. Like he can definitely upset most people.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Michigan, I would say,
Yeah.
with his Ganondorf.
And
He was
Watts is
definitely,
still
like, a
very
contender.
good. He's definitely still a contender in this.
Oh, for sure. And I just think he hasn't been that active or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe the Wi-Fi PR lit a fire under his ass or something. I don't know.
And I
Which
mean,
it might have done for a couple people.
the nature of Ganondorf as well is just like sometimes you blow people up, sometimes you get blown up. So,
Right.
he might have a little more inconsistency on his PR record, but we'll find out about him later. But yeah, the
let's
Baus
move on
very
to Druish.
very solid. Druish, the
Yeah.
player one of the players I'm always excited to talk about. Druish, just like if you guys don't have Druish on your radar, this kid is insane. Just
Yeah, he's a really good player.
so Druish took a month off and he just started playing again last week, and he instantly got a first place, a third place, and a first place. He's nuts. Just absolutely nuts. I think he's in the
Druish is for sure like somebody I expected to be in like the top 5 of these Wi-Fi events just based on his results before the PR, and he actually didn't enter the first couple tournaments because he was getting his controller fixed or something, or getting a new controller. And yeah, he's finally back. And since he came back, he has won 2 tournaments, got 3rd at a social distance demon, top 8 at a garbage can, and his worst result was 13 out of 49, which isn't even bad because that's, a lot of players. Yeah, 78% win rate, and yeah, he's definitely like, he's sort of like somebody who's like on the up and coming too, because since he wasn't able to play at the beginning of the season, I think we'll be seeing even more good wins coming from him, and definitely like, I think one of the most notable wins, is actually that he so he actually beat the Baus and he beat Kopel. So 2 people who are like technically ranked higher than him at the time, he has perfect records on right now. And that means that like Druish definitely has potential to like move up, and like if we're talking like just in terms of potential and like predictions only, like I definitely think Druish could like even make like top 3 if he like keeps the grind up and then like keeps having these winning records over these players like better than him because despite like the elo favoring them because they enter more tournaments, he has he has the head-to-heads, and those are really what matter the most when you end up actually making the PR is going to be these head-to-heads.
Yep. But yeah,
And
I
his only
also
losses were
I
Extraordinary and Anthony Isn't Cool, which
Yeah.
aren't bad losses.
yeah, definitely not. But yeah, I definitely think Druish also has the potential for top 3 in my opinion. He's
Yeah.
going wild. Every single bracket he like just blows up people over and over, and it's incredible to watch. Even though like some people may think Palutena is lame, but I think Druish is super hype. I love watching him play.
Really aggressive Palutena, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Definitely unique. I had a lot of really close and like fun sets with him too, and they're some of my favorite sets I've played in a while.
So 5th on this list, kind of a surprise, is Extraordinary. And I think this is the case of one of those players that's really, really been grinding. I think he has probably the highest attendance so far. He's like participated in a ton of tournaments.
Yeah, and Extraordinary is a pretty cool guy that he has a Twitch channel where he'll stream most of his runs, and it's pretty cool. He's like a cool personality, a really nice dude, and like he's a very, very, very old school player. He's been around for forever, like, and he used to be PR in Smash 4, so it's not surprising seeing him do good in another sort of like PR settings, but it's definitely like you said, he's been on the grind. I feel like his results have definitely gotten better over this Wi-Fi period, and it's like a mix of him just grinding like crazy. That and his playstyle also, I feel like, is just so good online because he's like the true Shoryuken master. He'll literally like do Shoryuken, miss it, immediately do it again, and just kill people at like 80. He's so good at like baiting people with all kinds of crazy shenanigans.
Yep,
everybody falls for his shit. Like he'll read your air dodge. Shoryuken kill you at like 80. It definitely, like, some of my games against him are like some of the fastest games I've played, where it's like 2 minutes he either wins or loses, and that's just it. And he's like a very aggressive, interesting player. It's definitely cool.
Yeah,
to see him do
you
well.
may think you have Jordan in the corner.
69% win rate too.
Yeah, he's 69%. Nice. But
Nice.
yeah, you may think you have Jordan in the corner, but then he just Shoryus and then Shoryus again, and he took center stage and your stock.
Yeah, I know. It's like when he misses the Shoryuken, that's when I'm the most scared because I know it's coming again. And I'm gonna get hit by it the second time.
But yeah, Jordan's been really grinding, putting in the work. Definitely looking good for the PR season so far.
Sure.
I don't really want to go through every single player because I don't want to be here all night. Yeah.
Forever.
So those are the top 5 according to the ELO. Remember that the ELO won't determine your PR. It's the head-to-heads, but we're just talking about players that have been performing very well so far.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just basically a frame of reference at the moment, and if anybody wants to like look into these in more detail later, you're more than welcome to. We're just gonna link. We'll be linking it later after the stream's all said and done, and you guys can actually look in there and look yourself. If I were you, I would probably maybe just like change it to top 50 players and scroll down the list so everybody on the stream watching can see. Because there's a lot of people that might not be technically even like top 15, top 20, but they're definitely people that could end up being higher later. And I'm sure a lot of people watching are curious how they're placing or whatever. So that might be kind of cool to like just.
Yeah, I'll just do a slow scroll while you're talking.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we have some of these people like Dr. Watts, Defoe. We expect to be higher up there later on, and people like Ducks who have good wins. Nest T is an interesting one. I thought Nest T would be like top 5 right now.
I think Nest T played in like
surprised.
He played in like 4 tournaments, 4 or 5, like back to back to back, and then he took like a week or 2 off. He hasn't been playing much recently, but like Nest T and David, I expect to move up. And Prod is here very interestingly. Prod, in my opinion, should easily be top 10 right now. But sometimes signs up for Bacon's Banana Brawl, goes Marth, and then goes O2. So I think that's why he's here right now. Same with Defoe.
Which sucks because it sucks to face Prod 2 and see that he's going Wii Fit that day compared to like like just his random side characters, because you never know what prod you're getting. You never know if it's going to be like the beat best Ness and win the crew battle prod, or like the 0-2 Lucario prod. And I'm sure a lot of people are scared to fight him because of that. I bet a lot of people will be scared to fight him, especially top 5 PR. He has some notable wins. I think I'm pretty sure that he beat Copel.
Yeah, he has a Copel win. He
Yeah,
does
which is
indeed.
good. And yeah, so going down this list all the way to the 50. Hey, look, Azora High. Paco. What's up? Shout out to Paco if he's watching. My Lucario is too sick, bro.
All right.
can't
So what do you want to talk about next? What's on your agenda from here?
Right, so let's take a look here.
We kind of went over head-to-heads. What I'd like to talk about next is just like players that we want to highlight or people you think are slept on right now, or the term hidden boss.
Right. Yeah, that's what I had next on the outline here. I think that's definitely a good thing to bring up. Right. So, I mean, we could start just talking about just continue to talk about Prod, I guess, because that's a good starting point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is Prod is definitely a hidden boss, being number, what,
23
4,
on...
I believe, offline at CMU.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, notable player in Michigan, pretty good. And like I said, when he's trying, he's trying, he does good. When it comes to his ranks, I'm joking. Not actually, but got something in my mouth. Anyway, I was eating some garlic bread. When it comes to his actually tournament results, they don't look that impressive. But it's when you go to his win losses that, for me, makes him sort of like a hidden boss in my eyes, because he's got wins on some notable players. He's got
Yeah, he's got wins on
Ducks.
Drewish, Nesty, Ducks, Copel, Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, there's sometimes when he gets in a bracket and he can just blow up. It seems like he could blow up basically anybody, you know?
Right. And that's like definitely like, and he's a clear example of the ELO system not really being that accurate too, because it looks at his tournament results and it looks at him bustering out in some of these brackets and it says, okay, this guy sucks. His
Mhm.
points aren't going to be as high as, some of the 5 through 10. But then you actually look at the head-to-head and you look at all the players who are like even ranked top 5 that he has winning records on. I mean, he
Yeah.
has a winning record on Copel. Unless I'm reading this wrong, he has a winning record on Extraordinary, who's also a top 5 contender right now.
Mhm.
Winning record on Drewish as well, which is like another huge like top 5 contender. And a win on ST as well, which is very notable as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, like all those things are like really good. Like if he just didn't sort of like mess around, I feel like he would definitely be definitely be somebody that could realistically be top 10, maybe even top 5 in the future. So that would be my biggest like choice of a hidden boss. Yeah, let's take a look at some of these other players here.
So one for me that's on this list, and he's actually 14 right now. Thick Nick. He's started signing up for tournaments. He hasn't done a ton yet, but he's shown up to a couple recently. Enough that
Right.
I think he'll have the participation to make it. And he's been taking out some pretty good players as well. He also has a win on ST and Ducks. And so I think watching him do a couple of his bracket runs, I think he's definitely somebody in contention for like the 10 through 15 slots that maybe isn't like, since he wasn't in the Wi-Fi, meta before and has just recently started showing up. It's pretty interesting to see somebody like that, somebody that maybe saw the PR thing and was like, hey, maybe I can make it on this, and started signing up for tournaments.
Yeah, and his overall win rate is very good. He has a 66% win rate, which makes him significantly higher than some of the other people around his rank in terms of the ELO system right now.
Mhm.
Third at the Garbage Can, third at Quarantine Quarrel, top 2 at Unknown Weekly, 17 out of 74 at Shell Shocked, which isn't a bad placement at all. And then top 8 at Banana Brawl number 9. Yeah, and just that on top of all the wins you were talking about. He also has a win on somewhat of like a dark horse in like this PR right now, which is Dr. Watts.
Oh, I thought you
It's
were gonna
definitely
say
notable.
OT.
OT is definitely a dark horse too because she really can just beat anybody with like Joy-Con's Robin, and it's very scary to play against her. Like I wouldn't want to play against her. You never know if she's gonna upset somebody.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. However, I don't think the OT's been super active since this PR season technically started. Maybe we can take a look at her
Yeah,
profile in a
I
bit.
can click on her really quick. She's
Why not?
the first tournament of PR. Yeah, social distance Siemens number 36. She got 5th place. She's made
Yeah,
two.
that's actually crazy.
She's made 2 top 8s, but you're right. Her attendance is pretty low so far.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think she's been a little bit, and it's funny because she and a lot of other West Michigan players were on the grind right before this whole season started, and then I think they've just burnt themselves out or something. I don't know. I don't know what these kids are doing, what these teenagers of the Michigan Smash community are doing, but they need to enter more tournaments. Because yeah, she got 5th at Unknown Weekly, or 4th at Unknown Weekly, sorry, and then 5th at Social Distancing out of 49 people. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good for sure. Oh, does she have a win on Dr. Watts too?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay. And she has a win on Thick Nick.
Yep. So she's looking
Wow.
pretty good. If she just starts attending more, I think she has like a pretty good chance. But right now her attendance is a little low, and she doesn't have enough notable wins to be like a really standout player. But she's one of those dark horses, like you were saying.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of these dark horses, like mostly just people that haven't attended that much. In fact, I'm gonna look at Dr. Watts right now.
Let's see. Does he show up on the
yeah,
list yet?
He does, and
oh no, not Dr. Watts. I was thinking of Broly, but I'll look up Watts just a second.
Broly, right? Oh, Broly's a good one too. That dude's a beast.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a second,
trying.
but we can go over Watts.
Right.
So this is what I was saying with Watts, like social distance Siemens number 39. He beat Paco, but like he lost to Vlone and Spection, and like Spection, in my opinion, is sort of like will sort of end up being like one of the PR gatekeepers, probably.
Oh yeah.
So like I think Spection is probably right around the PR level. So
Spection's actually saying y'all review me yet just a bit ago here. I'm maybe we look at his profile next since we're already talking about him. But yeah,
we'll talk about him next.
Why not? We'll talk about.
But then there's this Unknown Weekly where he popped off. This is the one that he won, taking down the Bows, D-Man, Spection. So overall he has pretty good results. It's just like I said, the sort of inconsistent nature of Ganondorf main can, kind of hamper his performances sometimes. Like
which definitely makes him like a threat to like people that are ranked above him, where they're going to be scared to fight him.
Yeah, because
Dr. Watts is just going to destroy them or not.
Yeah, he might
or
just come and steal their ELO.
Yeah. He might just come and steal their ELO, get the upset, or he might just lose because Ganondorf is the worst character in the game. You never know what's going to happen.
Lunch is in the chat spoiling what I'm gonna bring up about Broly, but anyway, so we'll talk about
spoilers.
We'll talk about Spection next since he asked to be reviewed. So like I was just saying, Spection, in my opinion, a pretty good player. Definitely been on the Wi-Fi grind. 14 tournaments. That's definitely, I think that's the most we've seen from a player so far. And you can see these single digits all over in his bracket. Lots of top 8s. Very consistent on the Wi-Fi performances for Spection.
Let me take a look at Spection. Where is he? Where is he sitting right now? Number 7?
Number
right
9.
Now?
9. At least on the regular ELO. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one.
I think you're looking at the wrong one now.
yeah, my bad. Okay, he's 7. He's 7.
That's funny. Yeah, so he has 3 top 3s, 6 top 8s, 4 top 16s, and 1 top 32. Yeah, it's pretty good. He's definitely a player that like he has plenty of results to look at, and it which is actually good. Like if you have a lot of results, another thing that's like underrated about attending a lot of events, besides it just artificially inflating your elo and making you look like a badass,
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that the more tournaments you go, and if you continue to consistently make top 8 at them, you every tournament after that counts less towards like fucking you over, basically.
Yep. You
So
build
you
like
have
a
like
good base.
exactly,
Yeah.
which is, and he has that with the 14 events since the Wi-Fi PR started. I mean, that's like most. I feel like he's hit up most of these tournaments since this season
Mm-hmm.
started. Which is pretty cool. And then you have more chances of upsetting players and stuff. On the flip side, you have more chances of losing to people, notably. But yeah. Who are Spection's like best? Like he's definitely, like you said, like a gatekeeper in that like he consistently makes top 8. He consistently does pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, however, his peak wins right now, we're not seeing very many big wins,
I
and
mean,
this could
he's
actually
got
end up,
Watts and Broly.
yeah,
But like I said,
which are ranked below him
yeah,
in this.
currently.
So,
Um,
yeah.
so it
He
like I
does have
said,
a win against Kevy. That's a good win.
yeah. But yeah, for the most part, he tends to be like a gatekeeper player. He's got a win against Derek. That's a good
Right.
win too. I think Derek will be pretty close on the PR as well.
Yeah. I do think it's like, so since we're not seeing too many of these wins on the people above him, at the moment, I can't see him really being higher, at least in my prediction of like top 7 or whatever. And even that might be like his artificial elo inflation. If I were Spection right now, I'd definitely like work on maybe getting some of these upsets. Because if you can get like 1 or 2 upsets, he's like basically guaranteed to be like top 10.
Yeah, Spection. Just beat Copel and Cork.
For sure.
Sign up for one social distance Siemens and beat Copel and Cork, and then you're PR. Easy. It's a lock.
Yeah, because right now he's doing a pretty good job beating the people lower than him. However, just not really like upsetting some of these people that are considered higher on the PR. So I'd like to see some of those wins.
Okay, so one player I
on the
want to talk about, his stats might not show up much in here. But Broly just started signing up for a lot of tournaments, and let me tell you, this guy's one to be very afraid of. He's dangerous. Yeah. I'm gonna show you in just a second the Wayne State bracket from tonight. But tonight and last night, I think Broly has beat Drewish 4 times.
Oh yeah, he's crazy. He like randomly entered one of my banana brawls once. I had no idea who the hell he was, and he just like won the whole tournament.
Yeah,
it was like he like switched to Steve too, like in grand finals, and then just like ended up resetting. I think it was like Quirk actually. No, it wasn't Quirk actually. No, it was a different game and watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like crazy. I was like, who is this person?
But yeah, Broly is definitely one to look out for. And if we look real quick at the Wayne State bracket. He beat Drewish here on winner's side, and then he came down to... Where is he in losers? Oh, did he have to DQ? Okay, he DQ'd out of the tournament. But anyway, he beat Drewish today and yesterday. I think he took 2 sets off of Drewish yesterday, and then 1 today. And like we were just talking about how Drewish has potential to be, you know, a top 3, top 2 player. And if this guy's getting wins off of him, you know, that's big news.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like right now he's sitting at 16 in our ELO system, which is another example of the ELO system favoring people who do a lot of tournaments because he only did a couple. He does have like not the greatest overall record in terms of tournaments compared to some of these other players. Like he got first at the Wayne State. However, he got 33rd out of 74 at Shell Shocked, which isn't especially impressive. And 13 out of 35 at Social Distance Demons. Surprisingly low. Like 2 of his 4 tournaments aren't the greatest results, but the other 2 are a first at Wayne Warrior Wednesdays and a 5th at Shell Shock 39. So I think the problem with him really is just consistency. Losing to some of these players, like, and we were just talking about Spection, how he doesn't have too many or at least like amazing wins, but he does have a loss for Spection. Spection did beat him, so that's a good win for sure. And he also he also lost to, looks like, Ducks and Yoder like I don't even know how to say his name. The everybody's favorite Michigan banjo player, right? But yeah, so yeah, Broly is definitely like somebody to watch out for because he has like some of those big wins And the Druish one is like incredible. Like having 2 on Druish is like very good for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely like a dark horse because he's just kind of inconsistent. But like when he gets these peak wins, they're really really good.
Yep.
And I think when we look at the head to head later, he will definitely be higher than what he is right now. Like there's no way that he's gonna be like number 16 or something with 2 wins on Druish, a win on Kevy, a win on Extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of those like good wins. I doubt that he's gonna be, you know, yeah, he's definitely a good pick for like underrated player, whatever. Especially one that the ELO system doesn't necessarily recognize. And yeah, so what was I gonna say? Just a couple other people that were notable.
So
That I was
I have a
thinking of.
couple other people that I wrote down, but they are not appearing because of low attendance. And just to bring up the names of some people that could potentially be like very big players in this are Augie, Jeems, and Hawk have all appeared in tournaments that are PR, but haven't really put in the time yet. So like I think especially Augie and Jeems, and maybe Hawk if he's taking it seriously, but like I said, when he did sign up, he went all random. But those players have both have potential for like top 3 because Augie is pretty good against Quark, which is rare, and so is Jeems. I've seen Jeems take sets off of Quark before. So if they do show up more, they could win. You know, they could be big players in the list, but due to their low attendance right now, we don't really have anything to talk about them. I'm just saying they've shown up to at least one PR event and have signed up for other Wi-Fi events in the past. So they might appear here when we're doing our halfway review or something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, some of these names. Yeah, like a lot of these people that don't technically qualify yet, I'm sure they probably will by the time we hit that halfway mark. If they don't, then what are they doing? Just enter more events?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing. They're free. What else you got going on? You guys are playing Fortnite or something? Come on, enter the tournaments.
Okay, so from there, what you like? The next thing you have on your agenda is a predictions list. Is that you just gonna say your top 15 right now?
Yeah. So predictions are it's just a little bit different than the ELO system because basically who we think what might be the best player, so to speak. So yeah, I think this is just like a rough thing. I'm not actually gonna make a whole list. That would take a long time, and I don't really think it's necessary because people might read into it too much.
Yeah, I would be
However,
very scared of that.
Yeah, I think we can just compare and contrast. Like let's just make a minute to make a quick top like 5 and compare a little bit here.
Okay, I already had one made, so I have a top 15 from week 2 that I had made up. But it's kind of obsolete already, so maybe I'll paste it in and then I'll make some modifications.
I mean, things are just changing every week.
Yeah.
I forgot. There's one more dark horse kind of player I want to talk about.
Oh, that you want to talk about? All right. You
Yeah.
baited me into putting my ranks on the screen. All right, go ahead. Who is it?
I was just gonna say Dux, because Dux is such a good player, and he has some of these really good wins.
I have some
he has a
DMs
win
from
on
Dux
Crowley.
right now, and I haven't clicked to look at them, but I'm wondering if he's like, are you literally not going to talk about me?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people there's a lot of people in the top 20 we didn't necessarily talk about.
Mhm.
However, they're all very notable players. It's just that we don't have time to talk about everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Forever.
And
we're gonna let people sort of decide themselves. Like we're gonna be posting all this, so you guys can all look at the stats later.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about Dux just because like I feel like Dux is for sure a player who's like notoriously held back by Wi-Fi because like Fox is just like almost everybody universally considers Fox to be worse online. However, Dux still sticks to his guns, and he has some of these really like good wins too. Like he has a win on Anthony Isn't Cool, who's like top 10 player on the list, whatever. He's got a win on Tojo, who's a really good player. However, not too active, so I'm not sure how much that will count.
Yeah.
We'll have to see later. He has a win on ST, very good. A win on Zinkus, another really, really good win. He has a win on Yoderweihi or whatever.
Yodelaihu.
Yeah, a win on Little Shadow as well. Overall, very good win rates.
Yeah, for sure his
just
win
like
rate is super good, and if you like look
yeah,
at his tournament finishes,
look at his
he
ranks. Yeah,
yeah,
like
he never misses top 8 basically. Like he's
consistent.
got
And,
one
yeah,
where he didn't, but like he's nutty.
and I think that we sort of glossed over that. Some of the things that go into the PR besides head to head, because there are other things, and one of them is consistency and sort of if you can like if you're top 80 every single tournament, you know that's obviously going to be a good thing compared to somebody who's a lot less consistent.
Mhm.
And that consistency is something that might actually like when we end up actually making the PR. I feel like Dux could be a little bit higher than what he is based on this ELA system right now, just because of like you said that consistency. Because he's top 8'd literally every tournament that he's entered, except for 3 of them, and 2 of them he got 9th. One of them he got 17th, and this is a lot of tournaments. This is 11
Yeah.
tournaments total.
The three
So yeah,
tournaments where he didn't make top 8 were all brackets that had over 40 attendees. So they were like
yeah,
huge brackets where he didn't make top 8. But any other bracket
sure.
he's top 8 in it so far.
Right. And then some other notable players we sort of didn't really go into detail that are in the top 10 right now are Lone Flex, very, very good game and watch. Um, just solid player overall. A lot of top 3, top 8 finishes. A lot of good wins. Then Podgy's a player I don't really know much about. And then Yoder Wei, who we talked about a little bit. We've referenced him, but we didn't
Yoder's
really
been in
go
the
into
chat.
detail.
Just a small thing about Yoder. He sent me like
Yeah.
18 clips to put in the little clip highlight that I played at the beginning of the thing. And
Really?
and Zinkus responded to me and was like, "Dude, are all of these like recorded with a phone or something? Like the resolution on them sucks. I'm not putting them in the thing." And I was like, "Oh, all right." We're not gonna put him in the
Actually, really
thing.
funny.
I gotta break his heart. I felt so bad because he sent me so many clips, and I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry, man. I gotta throw all these out."
Right. Yeah.
But Yoder, he's showed up to a couple of tournaments. He does pretty good. If you guys watched what's it called, Tech Chase, Yoder was on one of the teams and he was like carrying his college, had the whole college on his back. I hope he got a, what do they call it when they pay you to go to college? I forgot.
Scholarship?
Yeah, I hope he got a scholarship for that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Esports scholarship. They do exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a 67% win rate. That's very good.
Yeah, he's
and I
pretty.
guess
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna click on the win rates for these other players too really fast because we didn't really give them a full review since we don't really have time. But I think it's important to sort of mention them. Podgy, 75% win rate. Actually got first at the garbage can 9. It's pretty good. Only did 3 tournaments total though. He's definitely one of those players that like could be higher if he's more active. However, right now he's just not.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have a lot of good wins because he just doesn't play a lot. But at the tournaments he has entered, he's done good. So yeah, I actually think Podgy might actually be a little bit higher on the ELO just because of the small amount of tournaments he went to and how good he did in those. But when it comes to the actual like list itself, he's definitely gonna want to be more active and like get some more of these big wins. And then Blown Flex really quickly here, just because I feel like probably shouldn't skip over any of the top 10 since I basically talked about everybody else now. 69% win rate, nice. Let's see, 1 top 1 finish, 2 top 3 finishes, 3 top 8s, 1 top 16, 1 top 32. Some notable wins. He's got a win on the Bows, which is pretty good. Win on Ducks, which is pretty good. A win on Jurish, actually, which is really good as well. Win on Dr. Watts. Yeah.
Yeah, so just
right.
a small thing about Vlumflex is that Vlumflex is, when I'm seeding brackets, he is the least consistent of the players that I think can win a tournament. So like whenever I'm seeding bracket, there's usually like a group of players that I say, okay, these guys are most likely going to win tonight. One of these 6 or whatever. Like if I had to bet on those 6 versus the other 30, I would easily bet on them. You know what I mean? And Vlumflex of those players, sometimes he can just bust her out. Like this one, he went 1-2 in this bracket. But then other nights he's like making grand finals. You know what I mean? So he's
Yeah,
got
he's
a
definitely,
little bit of a consistency problem, but he's still very, very good.
Yeah, an overall pretty good win rate. However,
Yeah.
I know what you mean because when he enters a tournament, I'm always like, I could definitely see Flux just winning this tournament, but then I could also see him getting like 9th or something. You just never know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, definitely like some of those players like Flux or whatever should probably try to work on their consistency if at all possible. Usually consistency is like a problem with like not knowing enough matchups, or maybe not being able to deal with certain play styles, or maybe having some bad habits that can at certain times be exploitable. Could probably be that would just be my advice, at least to look at those things. I guess if you're having sort of consistency issues,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say if you could win a tournament, you have no reason not to be able to win other big tournaments, other than just like maybe not knowing certain matchups or not knowing how to deal with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you've seen those peaks, and peaks are very important. But yeah, all right. So all right, we'll go to the predictions now.
All right.
So you have a list.
Yeah, I have a list, but
Cool.
it's not updated because Defoe definitely shouldn't be number 3 right now.
Right.
But this is the list that I had for week 2.
Defoe, like, he definitely could end up being
So,
like a top 3 player.
Yeah,
It's just
this
because
is like
he's like
where I would
grabbing a new character.
This is like where I would seed him if this was a bracket, but right now he's he's been playing the new character some of the tournaments. He's signed up playing hero and stuff. So yeah. He like I said, right now he's probably actually a little lower than this. And then I got the
Yeah, but
Bows.
we all know that Defoe has a potential to be that good, especially if he just plays as Shulk. However, I know he really likes Pyro. He's a big Xenoblade fan. And I think he's just trying to main the character, make it work. So we might actually, what I see with like Defoe is like we might actually see him, his results end up becoming as good as they were. However, it might take him a while to learn the new character, learn some matchups, stuff like that. So he's definitely like someone you need to watch out for. But yeah, at the moment, probably not as high as you have him at
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, let me make some adjustments to this. Give you some time to write yours.
Sure.
Everybody's yelling at me because I don't have Druish on here. But when I originally wrote this, Druish wasn't attending tournaments.
He wasn't playing yet.
Yeah.
This is week 2.
I'm sure this is very compelling for the chat. They're watching me think live.
Right? Okay. I have a little bit of a list made right now.
All right, hold up. The numbers are going to be all sorts of messed up.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right, I think that makes more sense. So I guess you can send me yours on Discord. Did you make like a text file or something?
Yeah, I just put it in Notepad. I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, and then I can open it up.
I won't send you the actual file. I'm just gonna
Oh, okay.
text you the. Yeah.
All right. How should I do this? There, we'll just open up another one. We'll put Bacon's list.
Yeah, this is just the top 10. When we actually do the whole PR, it's gonna be I believe you said 15.
Yeah.
Now is that guaranteed, or are they gonna make it? Do you think they might make it bigger because Michigan's a big state? Or is it basically set in stone?
I don't know. I guess I could talk to the other TOs about it, but the thing is, like, I don't want to make it like huge to where it's like, okay, you know, like, what does the being PR even mean? You know what I mean?
Right.
Where like,
You don't want to make a PR too big.
yeah, where like I feel like if you make, you put 11 honorable mention default. Okay.
Yep. Because he could be anywhere on that list, really, at the same time.
But yeah, like I want the PR players to be like, damn, these guys are good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like 20 might be a little too much.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
anyway, let's.
I'm used to Chicago where we have like an insanely big PR for no reason. It's like I think it's like 25, 30 people.
Nice.
But to be fair, we do get 100 plus people at every one of our weeklies. So
Yeah. So that's the
doing
thing
it.
is that like the average attendance at the tournaments that we're running are like, you know, less than 30.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. All right, so right off the bat, we have a lot of different stuff. What is interesting, my like top 5 is honestly like pretty standard. Actually, okay, wait. I actually just realized I messed up a couple things.
oh, you want to take it back, huh?
Yes.
All right, what do you want to
just the
change?
top 5. So, I did not mean to put DeBose number 2. I think right now Copel's like a shoe in for it. Copel number 2. You could put Jurish number 3, DeBose number 4,
Okay.
and Jordan can stay number 5 because I think right now that sounds about right. I appreciate you, Bacon. Yes, sir. Oh yeah. You know I got your back, Yoderway. Yoderway, you.
I like how you start laughing before you even say his name. You're just like, I can't do it.
Funny name.
Okay, so Cork, Copel, Drewish, you have pretty high. I think like it's safe to put Drewish there because I guess if you're thinking of it like a prediction rather than where are they right now, then this is definitely a very safe spot.
Oh yeah,
put
for sure.
Drewish.
This is my predictions of the final PR based on what we have now, but also based on, I guess, trends.
Mm-hmm. So mine is just like if I had to pick a PR right now, I think this is probably what I would do. But I didn't look through every single player to like fact check this out.
Me neither,
Yeah,
and I didn't
so-
actually go to. I thought we were just doing top 10, so I didn't actually do the 11 through 15. But
Yeah,
you know,
no problem. And then you've got the bows. No, okay, Anthony is here. He's just a little lower. Okay, that's fine. Jordan, I've got him as 9th. You've got him as 5th. Dang.
Interesting.
The thing with Jordan is that, like, in my opinion, like, I think on most nights, unless he's playing really hot, he can catch these hands from most of these players. Like, sometimes he'll beat Vlone. And I think Prod has beaten him the last time that they ran into each other. But I think most of these other players are going to beat him on any given night. But that doesn't mean that Jordan doesn't have the fire in him to get good enough to be able to get to where you have him. So.
Right. I think my only logic for that is that, like, some of these other players who are like top 5 through 10, he does have technically at the moment winning records on them, even if they can beat him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's gotta actually. Well, okay, Anthony Isn't Cool does have a winning record on him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
It's
I
okay.
did
We
put him
don't
a
have to
little bit
rerun the whole
high
thing
here.
right now. We don't have to rerun the whole stream. It's fine. It's fine. Just
For sure, yeah. Let's definitely not go into too much detail because that could
Yeah.
take forever.
I
But
like the
he
inclusion
has
of
a couple
Yoder.
notable wins for sure.
I like that.
Yoder?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Yoder's a beast. I don't know. He just keeps showing up in all these stats as like notable losses, and I feel like he's just bodied a lot of people, and he's just pretty good. His win rate's good. He's got some notable wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think his name is funny.
The
so
funny
yeah,
name definitely gets wins for Bacon.
for sure. I think looking at your list, I would definitely agree with Anthony's being that high. And if I were to not make this list in 3.5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I might put him higher. Because now that I think about it, you're right in that he has some of these. Like Anthony Isn't Cool does have a winning record, unlike Jordan. I don't know about Floatflex, but I could see like Anthony Isn't Cool being anywhere between like 4 through like 10. But
Mhm.
like I could see him being that high for sure. Yeah, Drewish is my number 3 just because he has like a really good record on some of these good players. He has a winning record on somebody ranked above him, Copel,
Mm-hmm.
who's number 2, and Copel's like almost like guaranteed number 2 right now. Same with how Quirk's guaranteed number
Yeah,
1.
it
So
feels
having a
like
winning record on Copel is like really good.
yeah, it feels like you're gonna have to do a lot of work to unseat these two. These two are
Yeah.
like, like yeah, even Drewish has a win on Copel, but like that's not enough to prove to me that in any given bracket Drewish can beat Copel. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
But yeah, anyway,
And,
I think I've talked enough about this. I don't know if you have anything else you want to bring up before we cut the stream.
Right. I guess I'll just a couple notes with my list. Brawly. I think we both have Brawly really high just based on what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely like a potential pick. I feel like from both of us
Mhm.
because yeah, he has some of these good wins and he's shown that he can beat basically anybody in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And I put Defoe in HM just because like knowing Defoe and if he was playing Shulk, he could be literally anywhere on this list. Like he could be top 3. But it really just depends on if his Pirate Mithra can catch up to the level of his Shulk, or if he's just going to go back to Shulk and try hard for the rest of the season. We'll have to see. So he's HM just because of that, because I have no idea where he's going to be prediction-wise. It's very hard to tell where he's going to be for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then a note on Spection, I think, where do you put Spection? 14. So yeah, I think we both put him a little bit lower on than the ELO system just because he doesn't have some of those big wins yet. He has the consistent results. He has the good win rate. He just needs some more of those big wins.
Yep, totally agree.
For sure. And yeah, if I made my list 15 people, I definitely would have Thick Nick. David is a good one that we didn't really touch up on. Ducks as well for sure would be on there. And Nesty for sure. I actually think Nesty is like sleeper. Like he could potentially be a top 5 player.
Oh yeah, I think we were just in the review, like we saw that he had actually taken quite a bit of losses. But I think if he just shows up to a lot of tournaments, he'll easily, sneak up into this area.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, I guess before we wrap up the stream, the only person we didn't really touch up on is David, and I don't know anything about him, so I don't know if you just want to enlighten me for a bit.
Okay, let's hit him up on here. That could be a just faith pick from me because I didn't go as deep into the last couple picks.
Yeah.
But David is like a very solid player. I always see him basically right where Spection is. So like he's got pretty good finishes in his tournaments. He hasn't attended a ton. I think he joined like swim class or something, or swim team at school, and has been a little bit busy, so not able to sign up for as many tournaments.
Yeah.
But I think his performances will prove out as the season goes on that he's up in that area.
For sure.
Right now he's got wins on Spection and Jordan. Zephyr, a secret pick, a fan favorite. I hope Zephyr can make a PR. That would be sick. Everybody's rooting
Is
for
Zephyr
Zephyr.
qualifying right now?
Yeah, Zephyr's qualifying right now.
Okay.
But just like Zephyr complained about his seed at Social Distance Demons, and just like at Social Distance Demons, here on this stream, I ignored him and pretended like he's not good. But yeah,
That's funny.
I think David also has potential to be very good if he keeps his attendance up.
Yep, for sure.
Drew's
And,
just wants inspection.
There's
Sorry.
a couple other people that could be like. There's so many players that like. If any Michigan PR players are watching right now that haven't entered any events, there's so many of you that have just one tournament, and all you need is like 2 or 3 to qualify. Literally, just like do a couple tournaments, and you might actually be like even potentially top 5 through 10 on this.
I
list
mean,
just
well,
automatically.
they need 9 to qualify at the end of the season. Right now, we just did 3.
Okay.
We just did
interesting.
3, so that way it gives like a simulation of people that have attended enough right now. But they need 9 by the end of the
Okay.
season.
So you need 9 total. That's a good thing to note. Okay, that's interesting. Actually, yeah, that's more than I thought. Yeah, there's a lot of players that have like some good wins, some good tournaments, just haven't really entered more than one event and don't even show up on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wondering why you're not on here for some of you, you might have just not entered enough.
Yep.
And that definitely qualifies for like some like we see Linus lurking in the chat. Linus, you can enter some tournaments.
No, don't tell Linus to sign up for tournaments. Actually, I don't want to be mean to Linus anymore. Never mind. Let's just end the stream. It was fun. Thank you guys for watching. We had a bunch of people towards the middle of the stream. I think everybody saw where they were placed, and then we've just got the fans now. But yeah,
Right.
Bacon, anything else to say to the people before I cut the stream?
Yeah, I think it was really fun, like going over this list. Thanks for everybody that's like been taking a part of this. I hope everybody's having fun with like the PR. It really is just for fun. I think we should like emphasize that because it's Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi PR at the end of the day is just sort of something to like bring us all together and just like have a good time. So I would say like if people are trying to get on the list or whatever, like don't take it too seriously. If you take Wi-Fi too seriously, it's not good
It's
for your
gonna,
mental health.
yeah, it's gonna make you go crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
But
But
yeah,
it's really fun. Been hosting this. It's been a good time.
Yeah, I
Thanks
will
for
say-
running the stream.
Yeah, big thank you to all the other TOs that run their tournaments and make this possible. So, because there's no way that I could do this alone and just run Social Distance Demons and like do a PR off of that. So, giving people the opportunity, like every day, if you just sign up, you can only sign up for the Wednesday tournament, but you sign up for 9 out of the 11 Wednesday tournaments, then you can make PR, So it's cool that all of these other TOs have stepped up and have given me permission to use their tournaments for reference and everything. I hope everybody's having fun with it. I hope you guys all sign up for every tournament that you're able to. But don't burn yourself out, because if you play too much, I know a couple of players have told me they're like, "Oh, I'm already so tired of this," and I'm like, "Yeah, you signed up for 6 tournaments the first week. Chill, bro."
Every single qualifying event.
Yep.
Every day you wake up and grind.
Yep. But anyway,
funny.
thanks everybody for tuning in. I will post the link to this. I'll tweet it out and I'll post it in the info channel of the Social Distance Demons Discord.
Yep.
So that way you guys can all take a look at yourselves and complain about how the system that we don't control ranks you.
Maybe I'll sign up and enter a couple tournaments. Maybe I'll be upsetting some people.
Yep.
Gonna beat Spection again.
Yeah, do it. Steal these people's ELO. Anyway, everybody, have a good night.